Okay, perfect. Thank you, Teresa. Good morning, everyone. Nice to virtually meet you all. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, by the way. So I saw Clarksville, which I was not expecting to be on this call, but it's great to see someone from my state. So a little bit about SIGNiX. We have been around north of 22 years. Our core solution is a true digital signature as opposed to a basic electronic signature. And then, of course, on top of that, we have our remote online notary solution. We were actually first to market. We started in 2013 with the state of Virginia, who was the first state to allow remote online notary. We're the only true digital signature and remote online notary solution. And the nice thing about our platform is, other than the electronic seal, we provide everything that you need to do remote online notary. So the e-notary journal's built in, it's available for view or download at any time. The video conferencing is built in and will automatically record for you, and we will store that for the entire Secretary of State required amount of time. All the authentication, including, I think there's about 12, maybe 13 states now that will allow for ID Verify, which is the ID verification authentication with the facial biometrics. Of course, KBA with ID as well, and then personal knowledge. What am I missing? The X509 digital certificate, we provide that as well. So pretty much turnkey. And the nice thing is you can do notary as well as non-notarial transactions with our platform. So, you know, our website, I'll show you guys a couple of things, and then I will open it up for any questions that you have. I know we're kind of running short on time here, but let me see if I can, am I allowed to share my screen?
Yes, you're able to share. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard one or two, I think maybe Maryland, maybe Connecticut, ask about states where SIGNiX is in compliance, and you know, not all states have preferred lists, but they certainly want you to use a platform, you know, that meets all of the Secretary of State criteria. But we have a map just right under our product solution that you can go on and click on your state. Incidentally, Alabama is a RIN state as well, for the person that asked that question. So I need to get on marketing because this isn't exactly correct. Or maybe this is just for who allows remote. Yeah, Ron Law. Okay. But yes, so you can certainly do remote ink notarizations, which I'm not sure that's the best workflow that was ever created, but it is certainly available. And then we, you know, you can certainly do IPIN as well. You know, DC, for example, I think California is IPIN right now, and my screen has flaked out on me. Bear with me 2 seconds here. But some of the things that we offer that differentiate us, being a true digital signature, and I can show you what that means because it's a little extra protector for you from a legal perspective, because what we do, having a digital signature at our core as opposed to a basic electronic signature, is we actually embed the legal evidence into the document itself. It's available offline with any PDF viewer 100 years from now. So, you know, there's some benefits to that for you, as I said, from a legal perspective, because what we do that separates us from a basic e-sign, which is what the vast majority of the remote online notary platforms are built on, is we apply military grade 256-bit PKI encryption with each and every signature act, whereas most e-sign vendors out there, and I'm talking about RON platforms that are built with e-sign, they just simply paste an image of a signature on a document, whereas we actually embed the legal evidence and apply that at time of signature. Whereas like a basic e-signature, they do put a security seal on the document, but they don't do it until final download. Meaning if you had a 3-party signed document, all 3 individuals would have to sign it. It goes back and hits their server. And then once you download it, that is when they apply the security seal. Now, because we do it at time of signature, we also take hashes or kind of the before and after picture, if you will, of the document, before and after each signing. So I can pull up what that looks like and show you. And I've got 3 screens going. Yeah, perfect. So we natively, even in your non-notarial transactions, right, we provide an X509 digital certificate just because we typically work in more highly regulated industries. And so if you look at this sample here, say Roger comes back in 2 years and says, hey, when I signed that document, it had a period
Tony,
of
we're not
3
seeing
years.
your screen.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me see here. Boom. How about now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So as I mentioned, right, because we embed the legal evidence, it's an extra protector for you as the notary from a legal perspective. So say Roger comes back and says, when I signed that document, it had a period of 3 years, not 5 years, right? I can actually right click and view the version of when Roger had signed it, but prior to you as the notary notarizing and signing the document, and say, oh, sorry, Roger, it did in fact say 5 years. Additionally, you can see, get back on the original. So this is actually a non-notary signed document, but you can click on each one. You can see the X509 digital certificate. You can see IP address, whether it was signed in Chrome or Safari. So there's some benefits from a legal perspective when we've had to support our customers, which thankfully has been less than a handful of times. It's never that they didn't sign the document. It's always, I didn't initial page 38, or I didn't sign it in that second spot. With us, you can actually see who did what and when within the document. But additionally, our audit trail, you've probably seen the certificate of completion, which we also provide, by the way, which is very high level. Can you still see my screen? I'm going to take that silence as, okay, I see a head shake. Thank you. Very high level detail. We'll give you an IP address. It will, tell you the signers. My audit trail that I provide natively for that 1-page document that you just saw, and I'll remind you what it looks like. We've got a radio button, a checkbox, an initial, and 2 signatures on. My audit trail for this document is 72 pages long. It details everything from who initiated the transaction to who the parties were, the emails, the bodies of the emails for the notifications that went out, the digital certificate, the serial number, every radio button, text box, checkbox, initial, signature, anything that happened when this document, as well as when it was done and who did it, is captured in this audit trail. Oftentimes, unfortunately, and I'm kind of a compliance nerd, Oftentimes, a basic e-sign will come, the date and timestamp will come off of whatever device that the individual signs on. And we all know how simple that is to change on our laptops. So, a couple things that differentiate us again, we have live support. We have a client success team, and any notary that is on our platform would have a client success manager that would help onboard and do live training. So we really like to make sure that our notaries are well trained and ready to go. We also have resources, and you guys are welcome to check this out. We have our SIGNiX Academy, which has tons of pre-recorded videos as well as downloadables that pretty much baby step you through the process. We even have some nice, this is a new process for a lot of individuals. And so we even have some short, 1-2 minute videos that you can send out to your clients prior to the remote online notary transaction, so they kind of know what to expect. And all you have to do is click on that, and you can click the link and send that link out. And it's like a 1 or 2 minute video, but at least they're a little prepared, because it is a new process for a lot of people. Everyone's used to going to their bank or, whatever resource, excuse me, to have something notarized. But, I heard some people talk about mobile. My thought is always the safety factor, right? This is much more safe because you're in your house and you're not meeting someone at XYZ business. That always makes me nervous. Unfortunately, in this day and age, can't be too careful. So I don't know if you have particular questions for me. I don't think we have time for me to run through a full demo, but I'm more than happy to share, or for Teresa to share my information, and I can send you my calendar link, and I'm more than happy to run through, or I'm happy to join a subsequent coffee down the road and do a full team demo for you guys if you would like to see it. But if you want to see the platform prior to that, we do have this notary training video. It's pretty much what I would walk through on, a live demo with you. But again, I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay, we have a few questions, Tony.
Okay, perfect.
I wanted to ask you, because we're told when we do Ron that they're supposed to keep a copy of it for up to 10 years. So my question is that one, your platform, because I don't know about any fees, like if it's supposed to be kept for 10 years, like do we have to keep paying for the platform? Do you keep it? I don't know. How does that work?
So we will store it and for the 10 years. So there are, I think, 2 states that require me as the vendor to store it. The rest of the states, unfortunately, require you as the notary to store it. Now, with my platform, it is available for download pretty much immediately. Depending on how long the session is, it might take the video conference a minute or two to spool, but within a minute or two, once you complete that transaction, it is available for download, and you can store it, on your local drive, cloud drive, removable drive, however you like. But we will store for the entire time. But there would be, for those states that do not require me as a vendor, there would be a storage fee, if you left. But you're going to love the platform so much that you won't leave.
Awesome. No, thank you. We have another question by Gail.
I had a couple of questions. So which 2 states do you store for?
I think Florida is one that requires, I store for all of them.
No, I
and I
understand, but
will,
the required 2 states that you mentioned.
yeah, I can't remember what the second one is for some reason. I think it's Indiana,
Mm.
but I'm not 100% sure, but I know Florida for sure requires vendors. I tell you, when the pandemic in the U.S. hit in, we'll call it January of 20, I think there were 8 states that allowed remote online notary. And by the end of May, there were 40 that had either executive order or permanent legislation. So, and I feel like it's still changing daily. So it's been fun to keep up with all the states'
I'm sure.
legislation and regulations.
So what's the fee to store if you're not required, if you're not in the required state?
Yeah, it's not a lot. Storage is not very expensive. I want to say it's somewhere, we'll call it 300 for a terabyte, which you'll probably never hit. I hope you do, because that means you're super busy. But that's a lot. That's a lot of storage.
Would
And
that
the
be per
last,
year, Tony?
I'm sorry.
Would that be per year?
Annually, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That would be for a terabyte's worth of storage, right? It would go down from there. A
Okay.
terabyte would take a while for you to get enough videos to fill that up.
so last question. So what are your fees to actually do a online transaction as a notary, and how does that work?
Yeah, so we have an annual user license. And again, that gives you everything that you need to do remote online notary. We offer live training, live support. And so we have an annual user license that's $299. And then we bill monthly for transactions, and transactions are strictly based on the number of seals that you place in a document or a document set. So you can have 1 or 17 or 50 signers, 1 or 17 or 50 documents. It's just strictly based on the number of notarial seals. And it's $10 for the first stamp. And if you had multiple notarial acts in the same transaction, the additional seals are $5. So, for example, if you did a transaction that had 3 notary seals, it would be $20. And we do cap that. I heard a lot of people say they're signing agents. We do cap that at $60. So if you had a transaction that had 20 or 30 stamps, you would effectively pay for the first 11.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you. Laura, do you have another question?
Yeah. Do you work with any sign-in services specifically?
So we literally, as I mentioned, we've been around since 2013. And so we have, I haven't looked in a little while, but last time I looked, well over 3,200 notaries using our platform across the U.S. Excuse me. And so another thing that we offer is we have a directory that you can join and put a little bit of bio, and people can search by state if they come on to our website. We do not compete with you, right? We are a SaaS, cloud-based software as a solution platform. Now, we also do have opportunities where we have customers that want to outsource service to us, and we welcome anyone that's interested in 1099 opportunity to do that. But we're not like a notarized. We're not a service, so to speak. We just have certain agreements with certain customers, that are looking to either supplement their own notaries with some outsourcing, as well as we do have some that haven't been excited about some of the different services that are out there and would like to contract with us. And a lot of it has to do with our video. There's a couple of different, I won't get too much into the weeds here, but there's a couple of different video formats that it's UDP and TCP, and a lot of firewalls, depending on the company, will block the UDP version or the TCP version. I can't remember which exactly, because it's more susceptible, but we actually meet that criteria, and it's mainly because of what we do outside of the notary. You know, any regulated industry, wealth management with FINRA, healthcare with HIPAA, life sciences with the FDA, 21 CFR Part 11. So that's where we focus. Excuse me. That was rather long-winded to a short question. I hope I answered it.
You're fine. Thank you, Tony. Laura, you have another question, hon?
No, thank you. Thank you very much, though.
Okay. Tony, so you don't have a job board, correct?
So we don't have like a job board where it's first in, first out. We do offer our notaries, and we are actively recruiting, as I mentioned, for some of those 1099 opportunities. And ironically, Pennsylvania is one of the places that we are just starting, because one of our partners has asked us to staff up in order to take care of their needs. So we don't have like a job board where it's first in, first out, because we traditionally have not done the service side. We've only started moving into the service side just because of requests from our customer base. Excuse me. But like I said, we do offer, you know, a notary directory where you can filter out by states and put a little bit of a bio about yourself, and someone looking for a notary in Clarksville, Tennessee, for example, right, can click on their, you know, their state and find their information. We also have a really nice marketing toolkit that we had built for our notaries, because they were constantly saying, hey, you know, how do I grow my business? Help me grow my business. So those are some resources that we have in association to the support and your client success manager, who will incidentally hop on and do, you know, demo transactions with you until you feel comfortable with the platform.
Okay. Thank you. What does onboarding look like?
Onboarding?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes,
Yeah.
as a 1099 notary.
Yeah. So I could get all of that. I know there's a background check that's required. We do have an agreement. It's pretty straightforward. I want to say it typically takes, and it's just because of like coordinating the background check and all of that, maybe a week or two. It's not a very difficult process. But actually, I have not done any recruiting for that personally, but I could certainly find out, you know, from A to Z what that looks like and circle back to you.
Okay, if you can please share with me, and I'll share it out with our team members.
Certainly.
For those who may be interested. All right. Well, Tony, thank you so much for joining us here today. Do we have any other questions? Tony, do you have any prerequisites for a notary onboarding with you for 1099? Any required training that's required of them?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, as long as you've got your commission, you should be good.
Okay, perfect.
And our platform's pretty intuitive and easy to use, you know, outside of the notary. Yeah.
Teresa, this is Geneva. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. He mentioned that it's $299 for annual license. I know a lot of the notaries on the call are new and, of course, on a budget. So is there a way to make payments on that $299, or is it a strictly $299 and done?
Tony?
It is a $299 and done.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then for an investment, you want to make sure that you have the clientele that can take there with you and promoting for it also, because they don't per se have an active job board that recruits customers for you.
That is correct.
All right, Tony. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today at our morning coffee. You're welcome to join us anytime. But before we do, we have to do a ritual, which is where we take a picture. Are my photographers in the house today? Hello? Laura, Marie is away. Laura, are you ready? Tony, so we have to, let's see how we can do this. So we have the grid. Okima is back. Tony, Okima is that notary from Tennessee. She's in the room now. Let me see how to get the screen ready for the pictures. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see how we do this. How do I do this now? Tony, are you done sharing? I can.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So now let's do this. View. Gallery view. Okay. So let's take a Tony, can you remove the, I don't think I can you stop sharing so I can get the
Oh, I thought I did. Yeah, let me see here. Okay. Oh wait, maybe this one? There we go.
Okay, there we go. All right. So we normally take a group picture if you're unable to come on camera with your coffee mug or bottle or your wine glass. Let's do this. Laura, let us know when you're ready. Laura. You got it, Laura?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, you can't see my cup? Oh, there we go. I can't see my cup. All right. Thank you guys for joining us today. I made a mistake. I thought I said it earlier. Jean Sorg, who is the recorder of deeds in Montgomery County, she's going to be joining us next Tuesday, where she'll be talking about a program that they've implemented in Montgomery County. So I invite you guys to join us back if you're in Pennsylvania and see what it's all about and learn about it. And thank you for joining us today. It's a little 1 minute after 9, but thank you. We're going to save the. Oh, let me stop.